everyone, this is Vospot here. For those who don't immediately know what that means, it stands for Videos on SpaceX and Podcasts on Tesla. Maybe someday we'll tell you how we came up with that. Anyway, in the next few minutes, we're going into a deep dive into the history of electric cars from the early 1800s to present day. Let's immerse ourselves. From 1859 to 2008, all electric cars used lead-acid batteries as their source of power. The lead-acid battery was the first rechargeable battery with a recharge time of 10 hours, invented by Gaston Planté in 1859. Before it was invented, all batteries had a certain amount of range, and then they had to be replaced with a brand new battery. In 2008, the lithium battery was introduced with a recharge time of 3 hours, instead of the 10 hours for lead-acid batteries. But before we get into more about batteries, let's see what this whole video is about. It all started out in the early 19th century, when the main way of travel was by horse and buggy. The very first model of an electric car was built for fun by Anios Istvan Vindig, fun name, a Hungarian physicist and engineer. But even way before that, Leonardo da Vinci designed the first car but never pursued in building it. The first practical electric motor was built by Thomas Danforth in 1834. Sometime between 1832 and 1839, Scottish inventor Robert Anderson built the first crude electric car using a single motor and a non-rechargeable battery. He used crude oil as the electric current for the battery. In the late 1800s, when the horse was still the main way of transportation, a massive problem came to light. The streets of London and New York were starting to get a little thick in horse manure. In 50 years, every street in London will be buried under 9 feet of manure, the Times newspaper said. So it became known as the Great Horse Manure Crisis of 1894. Electric car companies like Detroit Electric in 1907, Oldsmobile in 1897, and Studebaker in 1859 were founded in response to the invention of the electric car and to take part in the popularity of them. The first Porsche car ever was revealed in 1901 by Ferdinand Porsche. It was the Porsche P1 and also electric. Ferdinand Porsche and his son later worked together to start their company, Porsche, in 1931. By 1901, 28% of the cars on the road were electric, and they outsold all other types of cars. The electric car was really popular with women in the day because the gas car had to be hand-cranked to get started. In a decade, the car had come from just an invention to the main form of transportation in the United States, but only for the rich. In 1912, peak production of electric cars was reached and was never matched again until the 21st century. Electric cars had much more popularity compared to gas, and yes, even steam-powered cars. This was before Henry Ford came out with the Model T and the efficient manufacturing line. Talking of Henry Ford, he and Thomas Edison worked together to improve electric cars and their batteries. But when Edison's factory burned down in 1914, the two of them gave up and determined that gas cars had more potential. In 1903, the first electric starter was patented by Charles Kettering. In 1908, Henry Ford came out with the Model T. And in the late 1910s, petroleum started to get mass-produced. All these events worked together and made the gas car much more popular and even cheaper than the electric car. Eventually, by 1935, there were very few to zero electric cars to be bought on the market. But after World War II, in Japan, they were short on fossil fuels and had an excess amount of electricity, which opened the door to electric cars like the Tokyo Automobile Company, which later became Prince Motors Limited, which then even later became the modern-day Nissan, which built the Taman electric car for Japan using the lead-acid battery. In the 1960s and 70s, the gas price soared, encouraging other car companies to start building more electric cars. inspiring cars such as the 1977 Chevy Electrovette, the 1979 Ford Komodo car, the 1996 EV1, the Maer's 1998 Maer's Motors EV, and the 2003 AC Propulsion T0, which later inspired the very first Tesla. During that time, Nissan also manufactured the electric Nissan Ultra and the Hyper Mini. In 2003, a new game-changer company called Tesla was founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Later in 2004, Elon Musk invested $6 million into Tesla because the company was thinking of finding a way to mass-produce the T0. In 2008, Tesla Motors came out with the Roadster with a top speed of 125 miles per hour and a 0 to 60 time of 3.7 seconds. And only 2,500 were sold for the sticker price of $150,000. In October of that very year, Elon Musk became CEO of Tesla and started taking full responsibility of the company. Nissan, in 2010, introduced their Nissan Leaf as a 5-door electric hatchback, and 2 years later, Tesla revealed their $57,000 Model S sedan that was based on a car by Mercedes-Benz to prove that electric cars could do much more. The next year, BMW debuted their all-electric i3, and Tesla revealed their Model X in 2015, which had a 210-mile range. From then on, the number of electric cars produced and revealed began to escalate. Most of all the current car companies are now producing electric cars in one way or another, putting 23 plug-in cars and 36 hybrid cars on the road a couple of years back. But none have ever been able to beat Tesla and the number of electric cars they are producing in their gigafactories. Since then, Tesla has introduced the Model 3, the Model Y, which is a larger version of the 3, the new Tesla Roadster, and a semi-truck. Tesla gave the whole world a push for a more modern and functional design when they released the Cybertruck, which you all have most likely heard about. Awareness about pollution has spurred the surge for electric cars and the desire for them. Because of it, it seems that most of the car companies are going to start a transition of their production lines to full-on electric cars. A lot of companies are also going to produce their own electric trucks around 2021. Soon, we will start seeing the fossil fuels die along with the companies that never, but could have, switched. We are wreaking havoc on our planet. We had one chance already to adopt electric cars permanently, and now we have another. History has this habit of repeating itself, and we don't often get the lesson the first time. We had another chance with Tesla and all the other innovating companies to switch to electric cars, this time for real, and forever stop pollution. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you didn't know already, this is our very first video, so every like, subscription, and hit of the notification bell is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Now stay safe, stay healthy, and do things right.